everyone, welcome to Word of the Week. This week we have two very special guests. Last week we had Kevin Jung and Jason Vu. This week we have Beatriz and Daniella. Yay! Question. So you guys are salt partners, right? And so how long has that been?
I believe it has been like 3 going on like 4 years.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
It's been a while. How did it all start?
I'm the one who asked, right?
Yes.
Yes. It was when I started hearing a lot about it, and then I was like, oh, what is this? Salt and pepper? I was like, interesting. And then I guess I started looking around at older sisters who I admire and am comfortable around. Beatriz in herself she's a very approachable person.
Mm-hmm.
She's like a friendly dog.
It's a great way to put your salt partner.
Yes. But I think like in the quiet moments that I got to observe her in, all of the things that she said were very insightful to me. And I think like her being praise leader on youth group, like hearing her prayers, I always heard her prayers and I was like, wow, if I could pray like her, or wow, her prayers could heal a broken heart.
Oh,
Whoa, that's insane.
Well, hearing that answer, how do you feel?
I feel very loved. I mean, from my end, I did get to know her. I knew her as like a very like doe-eyed small girl who would like stand in front of me and be like, hey Beatriz. And I was like, oh, hello. And then she messaged me. She was like, hey, can you be my salt leader? And I was like, oh, word. I don't have a car yet, but I would love to once I get a license. And that's what happened. Yeah. The first time that we met up, very memorable to me because I was scared that we had too similar of personalities, that I wouldn't be able to give her what she needed. And so I tried to emulate my salt leader, who is Elang, and I was like very calm, very composed. And then I was about to drop her off at home, and then she was like, Beatriz? I'm like, yes, hello, Daniella. And then she was like, you seem a little bit different today. And I was like, oh, I am trying to be calm and composed. And then she was like, oh, you don't have to do that. It makes me feel a little bit like I'm with a different person. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's a relief because I'm like, I wonder if I'm doing this right. I was very worried. But I think like talking to other people, including Kevin and Elang, most people like would say that having a salt relationship, they are too different. And then for me, I'm always worried that we're too similar. But I think with the grace of God, we have been able to stay this long for 3 years, and I haven't fed her too much heresy, and that she can catch me on it as well. So that's been really wonderful. Yeah, she caught me right off guard, and I was like, okay, never mind. We're back to schedule.
Yeah, you guys are actually pretty similar in your personalities. To be honest, I'm not really sure who rubs off on who, but now you're kind of merging into the same person. Like, I'm not sure what you mean, but to be honest, you guys are very unique in your own ways too, because when you were like imitating Daniella, I could tell it was Daniella, you know?
Thank you.
So great impression.
Thank you.
That's good. So so that was talking about salt and like how you guys got to know each other. Now, let's talk about like the here and the now, like what are some things that you're learning from each other now?
Oh. The things that I am learning about Daniella, and then what she's probably like taught me as a leader. First being the one from the first time that we met, that I can be true to myself, and as long as I'm seeking, only God's guidance and like the people around me, I don't have to worry too much about putting up a front. But then in the here and now, I think it would be her endurance. Yeah. So, like, with the things that she confides to me about, she's very open, and like, if it's like a consistent struggle, she'll always tell me, and I'm like, oh yes, you can do this. I'm here for you. And she's like, it's gonna be hard, but I'll also do it. And she keeps on doing it. So I'm very like proud of her for that she keeps trying. And I feel like that is a very great skill to have, especially when you don't see fruit in your life, but you stay consistent. Or if you know that you haven't been consistent, it's like, I know this is what I need, and it's still refreshing to come back to God that way.
That's really cool. I totally agree. I think that's a great trait to have, like when you're down to do everything that someone tells you to do, and then like when, as a leader, like when you see them mess up, I'm like, oh, that was my fault for sure. I don't know if you feel that way sometimes too, but I think when I'm surfing and I'm teaching people to surf, I'm like, okay, go for this wave, and I was like, oh, I should not have made them go for that wave. So maybe sometimes you feel that in salt too. Yeah, you do. Like, what was an example? You don't have to think.
Oh yeah, no worries. I mean, something that we started with, that we wanted to do together, was go through the book of Ecclesiastes. And in my head, I'm like, 12 chapters, 12 months. This will be easy. And I was wrong. We are still on like chapter 9. And I even lost the papers that we had together because it's an inductive Bible study. And so in the works is to meet again and to go over that chapter and continue. But I was like, lost your papers. And she was like, oh, that's okay. And I'm like, is it though? And then she's like, yeah, we can just do it again. I'm like, thank you. So yes, very learning process. I don't really know.
Oh yeah. Great lesson. Thanks for sharing. How about you, Daniella?
The biggest lesson that I learned from her is that life is meaningless.
Where did that come from? Is that from Ecclesiastes?
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So another question is, if someone's not in a salt relationship now, what are some words of encouragement that you have for them to get into a salt relationship?
For me, when I think about that question, I think of the kids and youth. And I think most of them think like a salt relationship is like a really formal Bible study, constant learning relationship. But when I look back on my relationship with Beatriz, it's a lot of it's not too much of like hard studying, but it's just living life together and being there for each other. And I think if they knew that, then that'd be really encouraging in helping them taking the step towards finding a person.
Okay, how about you?
I think of it like very simply. It's like when you're developing your own faith and your own like walk with God, that's like very valuable, but it's also very valuable to hear how other people came to their faith. And in the same way, like if you're in college and like you see all these people from different walks of life, and then people who haven't grown up in the church and they still chose to accept Christ. So yeah, the different perspectives I think is what's valuable, especially with like all the questions that are out there and all the things that social media has to offer. It can be very easy to get lost in the sauce of it all. So it's nice to have someone who has been through it and then can help guide you through it, and also still know that like God's love is still good and it's still real and there. Yeah.
Wow, sounds great. Okay, now last question. So what can we expect from your video coming up for Salt by Night?
She actually texted me today and she was like, any ideas?
Don't expose me like this.
A hint is the word locations.
Oh, yes. That's a good one. And you will learn more about that context in our video.
Okay, well, I'm really excited to hear about or watch it like when it comes out. So thank you guys so much for sharing. You guys definitely have a very cool, beautiful story, and I'm really thankful for your encouragements for everyone else that's watching. And so yeah, everyone, please come out to Salt by Night. Okay, it's gonna be the second week of the month of September. So we will see you all there. Thank you for watching Word of the Week, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Like what you see? Come check us out on our YouTube channel. We're called to love God, love people, and serve the world. We post regularly every week, Wednesdays and Sundays, 12:30 p.m. for English ministry. Check out our website at www.wearetruelove.com. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button.